one thing I say is like everything is AI. Forget it what he said. Like, but thank you for the introduction. But everything is AI, as you can see. Why that is changing the whole world? We're going to discuss that today. Okay, this is a good URL. You need to NextGenEA, tinyurl.com/NextGenEA. This is your friend. Okay, I have some assignments for you to do. You can go back to and then reflect it based on these assignments, and they will help you start thinking in terms of your projects. Whatever project you're working on, they will help you enhance that. All right. So that said, what we're going to talk here is 3 to 5 years. What's happening? So Gardner talks about it. 3 to 5 years. Why are you here, by the way? Why are you here? To make money, yes? Yeah. Your manager sent you, yes? But you are here for creating new services. That's what you're here for. We are all here to create, different services. Now, what's going on here? Okay, it worked. Okay, so you want to create these different services. And how do I create these services? That's what matters. Like, of course, this looks like a New Year party going on. But you want to have different services coming up. Now, this is not a misnomer saying that, hey, we used to do banking and we can keep on doing banking. It's like thinking differently, the same thing which you're trying to do. Okay, that's what you're here for. You are not here, how do I write an API code? That is ChatGPT is writing for you. Yes, everybody who write the code nowadays. Anybody write code nowadays here? Anyone here? You should come to my talk tomorrow. Okay. and then you would be so happy because I would give you so many tips so that you would be so productive. People are surprised. I'm able to do 5 days of work in 2 hours. How do I do that? I will reveal that tomorrow and ChatGPT. So the perspective here is you are here to work with the stakeholders. Somebody said stakeholders. Make sure you are able to make money. You are here to make money. And how many here know your hourly rate? You have to do 10x of that to your company. That's it. If you are able to give 10x, if you get one idea out of today and make it real, that will change the way you do the work. I can guarantee that. That means innovation. You're not here just for the sake of, hey, enterprise architecture. It's an innovation which is collaborating with the organization. How do you make your decisions? Because you have money to spend and there is a limited amount of money to spend. How do I do that? How do I make sure the business is meeting the technology, the newer thing? This is virtual, by the way. This hand does not exist. But this business is meeting technology right here. And that's what we're going to discuss as part of today. Connecting of them. So that means from visionary perspective, you have to coach. You have to create the vision for your solution. What does vision looks like for you? Where should I go? And the problem which always comes with each one of us is, hey, I need to work on this technical debt. Nobody is ready to pay money for that. What's the business value? Everybody gets that? Yes? Don't work on this because it's not producing any business value. So it does not matter how good the product is till the time you're able to define the customer satisfaction. CSAT score is improving. Okay, lead time is reducing. You are reducing the lead time. You are able to deliver more epics in less amount of time. And those are cash flow, earnings, market share, new markets, new services. So you want to build new services. That's what you are here for, not just for a small thing. That means you are going to look at cost per transaction. Can you reduce the cost per transaction for your service? Can you do that? Yeah. If you can do that, now you can say that, hey, this is customer service coming to you. This is going to impact your response time. If you reduce the response time, what happens? Customer becomes happy. They're able to purchase in less amount of time. So that's what happens here. So, and then mean time to detect the failure. If you do mean time to detect the failures, you are able to resolve the problems in production faster. Okay. So there is a correlation between what we need to do, mean time for the vulnerabilities, That is also impacting response time. So that is an enterprise architecture lens. You have to improve the operational efficiency. How do you do that? What features can you use moving forward? We'll be discussing that today. All right? All right. Let's go and take a look at it. So we are here to talk about refinement of the API. So I'm going to talk about Gartner. So Gartner is a great way of looking at it. Now it has got four different enablers. I can call it enablers, which are in the market. One is smart worlds, critical enablers, productivity revolution, and privacy. These are the four things. If you know these four things, this is going to happen in 3 to 5 years. So that means you are secure. Your job is secure and you know what's coming and you prepare for it. All right? So what that means, first is smart world. Smart world means when we are trying to work from smart world perspective, it means, so what's happening is that these avatars are coming up. Why these avatars are important? Because now if you want to teach somebody, they would be able to come in and virtual assistants are coming in. Now, when I say virtual assistants, some people say that these are just people who are going to do some small things for you. Not really. These are junior employees for this year. They will be medium employees next year. So that means you have to know how these are coming up. So everyone started using this. This is for Synthesia. So this is just one part of the puzzle. Now they use it, 4 hours become 30 minutes now. So that's the reason. So this is something new which is coming up, and we should be able to create our own avatars. By the way, today we are going to create some of the avatars, and how to do that. What is the process to create an avatar? We'll talk about it today, which we call it as an agent. So digital agent, that's what we call. Okay. So AI avatars is number one for us to look at. Next is digital twins. Let's take a look at digital twins. When we say digital twins, what does it mean? It means that, okay, I'm going to show you something here. Let me refresh this out. Now, this is a manufacturing. How many here are in the manufacturing space? You are in the manufacturing space or you're working through it. So this is actual engine who's working. I can tell what's the load looks like for that engine. And if there is any problem with that engine, you can predict that problem over time. You can say that, hey, looks like there is a maintenance which was due and this was bad. We need to fix that. Before that problem occurs, you have to fix that issue. That's what this digital twin is all about. And we are able to find out those issues and who fixed that issue on the urgent basis. That is also coming in. This is proactive. Proactively, you are able to monitor and then be able to create that. Now, I may ask you a different question now. Where would we use it apart from this? Where do you think I can use it apart from this? Now, think about it. Now, I'm talking about, from our side, another way. Now, this one is a digital twin based on the environment which we have got. Now we are going to visit a factory right now. Now think about this factory is simulating the whole thing. You have been given a simulation to do. How many here create actual physical products and then they see how it works? Not anymore. You stop doing that. You want to build a plane? You build a plane in virtual reality first. And that's what this is doing. So you are able to see that, hey, what's the impact looks like for you? What are the different prototypes you're trying to create? It makes it much more easier to do it. So reduce the ramp up time become very less for you. Now this is for Siemens, but you can think about similar products are available for other places also. It got reduced. Simulation becomes much easier for this one. Not only that, you can actually monitor the performance, how the performance looks like for your solution which you're trying to build. That becomes much more easier to understand. Now we talked about digital twin just now. We just looked at what? Digital twins. But let me ask you a question. from your perspective, when whatever you have seen, where are you going to use it? Anyone? Healthcare. Where are you going to use this in healthcare? What do you guys think? Huh? No, no. Can you create a digital twin for yourself? So can you create a digital twin for yourself so your spouse monitors you every second what you're doing? Can you do that? Yeah, you can do that. Now you ate that gulab jamun. Now that calorie increased, the insulin increased. Your spouse knows about it. Not only your spouse knows about it, your children knows about it also. This is what happened. Like, I was there in a mall. I was trying to find my daughter. And I was like, where are you? I'm just calling her. And I said, she said, okay, wait a second. And she actually sent me a map. She said that daddy is here. I am here. She's telling me, it's like, what? She monitors me where I am. It's like there are apps currently which does that. So she know where my geolocation is, and I don't know how to do it, but she's able to monitor me. So this is real. This is not a joke. So digital twins are coming up in healthcare also. Not only in healthcare, but also in every other industry. You think about retail industry. Every industry you can have this. Oh, this is the healthcare one. Now with the healthcare one, what can you do now? Now why I'm opening up your mind is you have to think differently. You are not here to think like, oh, this is the way it works. Once you know what I'm talking about here, it changes the way you think. Okay? Because you need to create what? New products. So what happens? Diagnostics are done. Now what you can do is you can give one pill, which is a personalized pill for every cure you need to have. 5 years from now, that will be the case. You only need one pill, not like 5 pills. Like, I take like, vitamin D and, what other B12 and multivitamin, things like that. So you need to get only one pill now moving forward. So that's something new which is coming up. Another one is Cloud Pano. So Cloud Pano, now this is the 3D. So when you want to get the 3D experience, you can use this to get the 3D experience. That means if you want to sell something, if you want to get an experience in the 3D format, you can use this as a solution and then create your virtual software tools. So if somebody wants to get the virtual tour of the house or place, now you just have to create it and then use that. Not only that, you can feed this to the AI. You can feed this to the AI and create, your own kitchen. Go to Lowe's, like Lowe's does that, and other people do that. What do? Is like, they say, I want to design my kitchen. So you can go in and then say that, hey, my kitchen is like this. I'm going to put appliance here and be able to build the solution for it. So that's pretty cool. We can do that. The next is text-based multi-model tasks. So when we say multi-model tasks, everybody knows ChatGPT, yes? Here, like, it's like, if I talk about ChatGPT, here is like ancient, yes? But what ChatGPT is doing, some part of the puzzle here. But now you can have spatial. Spatial means where are you located? Based on that, you want to sell them more products. Geospatial coordinates. You want to sell more product. The person is driving by your store, give them 10% discount. Text message to them. Yeah. Same thing is when you're the visual, that means video, audio. You can create. Not only that, when you want to buy and sell the product, this is called gestures. You can do the gesture. Sell, buy. Oops, I made a mistake. No. Sell, buy. No. So that is also possible. So that is the direction we are all going in. So multi-model UIs are coming up. When we say multi-model UIs are coming up, this means that it's not just one UI which is there. Multi-model UI means, for example, this one, I said that handmade accessories. Now, these are the UIs which are coming up with all the accessories with white and beads, handmade accessories. Based on that, you can sell more products. So what's happening behind the scene when you get this kind of data? Hey, I want to sell these products. What's happening behind the scene? There are two kind of searches which are taking place. Number one is, everybody know keyword search. Yes. Second is vector search. When we do the vector search, what you're doing is you're finding out the neighbors who are similar cups and you want to sell them. Amazon uses the similar model, which you're doing the similarity search. You're trying to do a similarity search to get this. So what's happening is that when you're trying to get that people, now in this case, this person is with beard, like, and then this is another one. So they both look like the same, With what happens behind the scene is we are putting them in something called as vectors. This person likes this food or these toys. And who wants to buy, let's say you want to buy a shoe. What do you do when you want to buy a shoe? You're going to find out, saying that, hey, what does Ronaldo wear? And then Ronaldo is actually what? What's their brand? Ronaldo's brand, anyone? Nike, yes, Nike. So Nike brand is, Ronaldo has a Nike brand. Because they actually said, Ronaldo has said that, hey, buy Nike, I go and purchase Nike. This is called as behavioral analytics. We'll talk about more on that in few minutes. But once you know how this is done, now you can sell more products to yourself. So what's happening is the image encoder is there. You encode the data into multimodal text decoder. So what's happening is two brown dogs happily there. So they are actually playing, dogs are coming in, and those dogs are decoded and are all ready to go. Okay, so what happens is you have an image, you convert that image into text. Okay, because you converted that image into text, it becomes a vector. Now you can do vector similarity search based on that. Everybody with me so far? Say yes. Yes, because once you do that, now what's happening is that this multimodal embedding is there, person with beard is there, toys are there, and these are there. Now we know we can do text to image search. I can find out for this cat, where is this geolocated cat? Where is it located at any given time? So that all those things are possibles, in this case. So that's what is called as similarity search. You are able to do that, in this case. Now, so Rohit, why are you talking about this? These are the multi-model UIs are coming up. That means this is a UI. UI is converted into text. Because it's converted into text, you are able to use that. Smart spaces. So smart spaces and other apps which are coming up, and then those apps are, okay, let me see here. Multi-model, yeah, we talked about this, yeah, just now. Smart spaces. So when I say smart spaces, now what I'm saying is in NYU or some other place, I can have building engagements. Now, because I have building engagements, this space is all ready for me to use. So we can have, we can create these spaces for ourselves. That's what happens here in this case. So these smart spaces are there, which you can use for building your application. 360-degree building control. Now, why that is important? Can anybody tell me? Because you're trying to now build spatial relationship based on this. AR, VR is a big one. Now, what happened was, like, I had a Verizon, I was using Verizon, and I had some problem, in my usage. What did they do? They did a VR with me, virtual reality with me. So they just called my phone. By the way, Salesforce also does that. If you're using Salesforce, you can use it. So what happens is that you just create the session, and I showed him what is the problem looks like. He analyzed the data. He said that, okay, this is what the issue is. Plug in here and fix that problem. So what does that mean? This means that with AR, VR also, you are able to reduce that issue. Okay, this is another one which is interesting. Transformation of the Amazon AR boxes. Now, this is interesting to understand. When you see this, what's happening here, here you got the box. Because you got the box, you are able to now go in and create a VR cycle for yourself. That means you get more sales done by the marketing department. That's what's happening in this case. And people started using it in different formats. So can you sell your product like this? Yeah, you can sell your product pretty much like this. Can the same thing is done not only with this, but with with other perspective, yeah, you can do that too in this case. All right. So that said, Amazon is able to do that. Now let's take a look at something else which we all know, productivity revolution. So productivity, you want to be hyper productive. How can you be hyper productive? ChatGPT, yeah? You can use ChatGPT for most of the thing which you're trying to do here. So let's go to ChatGPT here. So when I go to ChatGPT, I can ask any question here. And by the way, I'm not going to go over ChatGPT per se, but I'm going to talk about, can you create your own custom agents to start using this? Yeah, you can build your own agents. For example, I build an agent here, which is an HR assistant, for example. So this agent is built. This is built by me. So I can go in to this agent and then find out the instructions I use for using the system. So what is this? This is called as an instruction. So I can build my own instruction, and then based on that, the agent is start to work. Yeah. So what does that mean, Rohit? Can you build an agent for weekly optimizer? So this one is the weekly optimizer, which I'm showing you right now. So this weekly optimizer, let's take a look. Weekly optimizer has these instructions. So what happens here? So these are the instructions which are there. Oh, by the way, these are the rules for those instructions. So can you define these rules? Anybody has worked with pipes in Linux? What happens? You go through the pipe. You go from one instruction to another instruction to another instruction. Yes? And can you make an API call from this? Yeah. You can also make an API call from this. And then can you also upload a knowledge article to this? Yeah, you can also upload the knowledge article to this. Because you uploaded the knowledge article, now you can ask the questions based on the vector search which you have got. Okay? And not only that, we can now interface with the APIs. Now, in this case, I'm using an API. In this case, this is a Zapier API I'm trying to use. So what I'm doing is I'm calling a Zapier API to build this solution. So let me go to Zapier. So if you want to connect to multiple applications, let's say you have 7,000 applications are there. You want to connect to all 7,000 applications, you can use Zapier for the integration for that same purpose. So that's what we do here. So can I create a chatbot for this solution? So in this case, this is the chatbot we have created, and we can actually work through that chatbot to solve our problem. Okay. So what does that mean? What are you trying to do here? You are trying to create your role. What is your role? You are a senior customer support representative, and your objective is to answer questions accurately for the customer. And who's your audience? And build in that audience here. Where is your data coming from? What is the style you're going to use? And what are the important links for it? Now, when I give these instructions, what are these instructions, by the way? How do I get these instructions? Anyone? People miss out on this. People say that, hey, I just put some instructions and I'm done with that. Not really. What do you need to do here? Anyone? How do I come to these instructions? Persona, yeah. And what do you do with this persona?
Define like thought.
Yes. So there is a methodology for that. What do you do in that case? You say, what are the jobs this persona does? Okay. And then you implement that persona. So for example, is it possible, I'm going to make up here, is it possible a service persona can do booking? Is it possible the sales persona can also do booking? Say yes. Yes. It's possible to do that. Now, what does that mean? You create a component. What is that component called? That component is called as booking component. And this is modular booking component is created. Now you can use that same component in sales, same component in service. Make sense? So that is the beauty about looking at jobs to be done and be able to solve based on that perspective. I have issue with iPhone, and then I'm able to answer that question for myself. Okay. Now, what does that mean? It means that we are able to use ChatGPT. We can do summaries with this one. And we can create diagrams. We can create multiple diagrams. Like, you can have, different diagrams you can create. These are plug and play diagrams you can create out of it. Can you create architecture diagrams using this microservice architecture? Yeah, you can easily build those architecture diagrams and then create also in this case. So these are some whimsical diagrams you can build for your solution. So this one was built by Netflix. So let me just share with you. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to build this diagram. So all the whimsical diagrams. So this is a whimsical plugin which I'm using to create this whimsical diagram for myself. Now, diagram can also be code. Because when you build the diagram, you want to build as a code also. So what does that means? You can go in here in the Miro board. Anybody has used Miro board? Yeah. So in the Miro board also itself, you can have an AI. You can build your diagrams right here, right within this. You can say, create a sequence diagram for food delivery company. Yeah, so it's going to generate the sticky notes. You can also generate the diagram for it also. So that's one more thing which is there. So behind the scene, it's creating code for us and be able to create that particular diagram for us. Now you may ask a question like, hey, these diagrams are good. Now we saved some money and saved some time to create these diagrams, from this. But this is one tool which I always suggest you try to explore. There is an AI for that. Okay. So this is one tool which I suggest you to know. There is an AI for that. So if you use this tool, how many here are, from, financial industry? Financial industry. For financial industry, what are the different AIs which are in place? You will be able to find out using this. Okay. Same thing, healthcare. So healthcare industry also you can use to find out different AI tools which are used for that. Now, why this is important? You have to interface with some AI or look at the ideas, how other companies are creating different AI tools. So this is, you can go and look into your industry. This is medical documentation, describe, watch my competitor. That's another one. So you can watch your competitor, what they're doing by using this AI driven tool. Okay. So the reason I'm talking about it, most of the companies, they are coming up with these APIs to start using for our purpose. This is a leaderboard. In the leaderboard, number one is ChatGPT. We all know that. Yes. But now I have image generator. If I need to do the image generator, you can use, free pick image generator. Gemini. Perplexity is a really good one. Why Perplexity is a good one? Because it gives you online links where the data is coming from. That's the beauty about Perplexity. That's the reason people are able to use it really well. All right. Wolfram. So Wolfram, if you have any calculations to do, if you need to do any calculation, do not rely on ChatGPT. Okay? Don't rely on LLM to do calculation for you. That's one thing I suggest you to do, because it's possible that they hallucinate. So Wolfram you can use in this case, which you can use to solve the puzzle for yourself. For example, calculate necessary server infrastructure required for 100,000 concurrent users. Okay, key considerations involved in this section. So I gave this as an input. So I gave this as an input for us to resolve. Now your job is to use Wolfram to be able to do that. You can use the plugin to do the system load analysis. Okay, you can do system load analysis, network optimization, cost estimation. If you need to do any cost estimation, Wolfram is a really good friend for you. That's the way I would say here. So what does that means? Now, if I look at the cost estimation for monthly operational cost for the multi-tier web application, so we can use Wolfram to really do the analysis for us. So these are all the ones you can do. So what you can do is in the Wolf form, you're going to copy this and then try it in Wolf form. That's what you can do here. So Wolf form, let's take a look. Okay, let me go to Chat GPT. Okay, so now within this, I'm going to go to the live explore GPTs here. By the way, can you call Wolfform from outside also? Yeah, you can go to wolfform.com and then you can start doing the same thing. There's nothing wrong in that. So here you can say this one and describe Wolfform plugin, the major risk for that one. Now it's able to give you a better answer for that particular question because it's able to do better calculation for yourself. Okay. All right. So it has got data. Now this one I ran like, what's the population looks like over time. So now India's population really was not that much, like till 1950. It automatically grows up really fast, and very populous country. I think we are number one now. Yes, we are number one in population growth. Yes. So this is the population trend which is going on, which you can use. Now, Gen AI enabled virtual assistant. Now we need to create these virtual assistant. So Zapier, we already talked about Zapier. Make.com. So Make.com, if you want to find out the new trends, which are going on, find out those new trends, and then publish it in LinkedIn and other services, you can use this. It's pretty easy to connect and then use. So what do you do in this case? Let me go to make.com. So in the make.com, see here. So what you can do is you can connect the scenario which you're trying to work on. Yeah, it's coming up. So summarize the website content and create social media posts. Now, how many here has to do that? You have a website, you want to summarize that website and create a social media post for LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Can you automate that whole thing? Now, your job is just to tell it to this, hey, these are the 10 websites, generate this for me, and it will automatically generate it for you. So you don't even need to do that manual task of generating it. This becomes kind of an agent which does it for you automatically. Or what's the new trends going on? Based on that, you start creating this, content for yourself. So that's the beauty about this. Okay. Another thing which is coming up is synthetic data. What do you mean by synthetic data, Rohit? Synthetic data means currently there is all data which is in production. Yes, we all want production data to test. Yes, not really, not anymore. You want to generate the data, generate this data, this static data. This is all generated data. This car does not exist. So they generated this synthetic data. 2030 time frame, you're going to have more synthetic data than real data. See, that's what's going to happen. Artificially generated, dogs, puppies. Like, my daughter loves puppies. Like she can spend the whole day looking at different types of puppies. Like she has all the brands, all of them. So the perspective is these are all synthetic data. So you want to generate this synthetic data to test out your conditions. So what does that mean? LLMs, when you're working with LLM, you want to generate this synthetic data to test with. Okay, let's move on to privacy. Now, why privacy is important? Anyone? Because you have PII data. But not only that, you want to make sure that there is no bias in any of your algorithms. Now, for example, you are a hiring company and you have a training data where you're trying to train the data based on a certain geographical location. Because it's very much possible the training data is bad, you will get biased results. It's possible that for a given gender, you're not hiring them because of this training data which is given to you. So you're predicting hire this person or not hire this person based on that data. So that becomes a problem. So you want to make sure you have a governance in place to really support that. This is called as ethical AI. We need to build that ethical AI, which is designing the ethical AI for ourselves. How do we do that? We're going to spend time in doing that also. But before we do that, one other thing which is coming up. Now we are talking about here privacy and transparency. So privacy and transparency has something called responsible AI. These two A's are there. Behavioral analytics is a big one. Why behavioral analytics? Anyone? Why behavioral analytics? Why do you think that is very important for you to understand as an enterprise architect? How my customer is spending their time, how they are spending their time, what are they doing at any given time? If you need to find out, then that's the reason the behavioral analytics is really, really important. If you understand this really well, you know your customer. Okay. If you know your customer, you can create billions of dollars for yourself. I give you an example here. So what happened? Steve Jobs. So Steve Jobs came in and he was in London. He saw that the person is coming in to the store and to Sony. At that time, Sony was a big show was there. And then they buy the CD. Okay, and they listen to one song. That's the behavior of the customer. Yes. What did he say? Can I change this behavior? What did he do? What did he do to disrupt that market? Anyone? iTunes came along. Yeah. I used to carry that big heavy camera. I still have it somewhere in my cupboard. Yeah. I stopped carrying it. Why? Because mobile phone is better camera than, any other DSLR. That's what's coming in. So that's where the behavioral analytics is very important to understand. If you are in software industry, this is prediction. Like if you understand that, you are golden. Okay. So what does that mean? What does behavioral analytics means? You are getting the user trends. Examine how the user is using the system. Understand the customer is number one. How do you understand the customer? Anyone? What's the first thing you do to understand a customer? Anyone? You understand the customer by finding out they're empathizing with the customer. Hey, what do my customer do? So for example, understand their pain points. Yes? When they are going from the starting of the journey, I'm aware, awareness is there, interest is coming in, I purchase and retain, and then I finish with advocacy. This is where the loyalty is created. If we know what are the pain points in each of these stages, that becomes the golden opportunity for us. Understand the customer pain points, multiple pathways for customer experience. So remember, when the customer is using your website, what happens when they use their website? Even if they're buying, any product, they are clicking few buttons. They're clicking this button, they're clicking that button. That is called as behavior of the customer. Based on the behavior of the customer, now you get the opportunities to work with. Pain points are found. Based on the pain points, we need to find out the opportunity for that customer. What are these opportunities? New account welcome series, because I want to convert them. Currently, I don't have a new account welcome series. There's no campaign for inactive accounts. What if the person stopped coming in? How many here don't go to a website for a long time? And then you get an email saying that, hey, you come to my website. Yeah. What is that? You're enticing the inactive users. How many here have Twitter account? You get an email. I do that. Sometimes I get a lot of emails based on that. So they know my behavior and they're trying to satisfy based on that behavior. Next is to understand the user experience. You want to make sure that the user behavior is understood. That means where they are clicking the button. When you know where they are clicking the button, now we know what are the different web clicks which are there. Based on that, you do the actions on top of it. Now, why people spend billions of dollars in this? Why are they spending billions of dollars in this? Why AI is going to change the world for this one? Can anybody tell me why I'm talking about this a lot here? The AI is going to change this, by the way. I'm working with Fortune 500 companies and they're all using something called as NPS. What is NPS? Net Promoter Score. How do you find that score? How do you find that score? Huh? Customer feedback is one thing, but there is other stuff also goes on with it. What is another thing called engagement score? How do you find the engagement score? How many clicks they did? How many products they bought? So that actually determines how much prediction they're going to buy stuff for yourself, from you. This itself, the user frustration, like if user frustration means, I'm not able to get the links are not working. Clicks are not coming up correctly. Highlighted are coming up. So these are the problems which are there. In your project, we need to find out these problems and basically fix these problems. These are behavioral problems which we need to fix. So what does that mean? Anger, frustration, delight, rage. What that has to do with AI? Rohit, tell me what that has to do with AI. What happens is we have something called a timeline. We have a timeline of saying that, hey, the customer contacted, they are very happy. That means sentiment analysis. How do you do sentiment analysis? Using ChatGPT. You're getting a text, conversation text with the customer. Based on that, you do sentiment analysis and find out they're feeling happy or sad. If they're feeling happy, what can you do now? Sell them more products, sell them more services. If they're not feeling happy, what can you do now? Make them happy, And that is what people do so that they don't lose the customer. This is the way behavioral analysis is really, really good, which is coming up. Now, what does that mean? It means that when we are working on any demographics, which area I need to work on? Psychographics, social, and cultural and economical. Now, Rohit, you're talking about all bogus stuff here. Not really. Not really. If you understand this, you know how your customer is being sold. Very important to understand. You have been asked to create a button. You're not being paid to create a button. You have been whenever any problem comes, just letting you know, this is Enterprise Architecture 101. Okay. There are 4 things you have to understand. Okay, in enterprise architecture. Number 1, any problem comes to you, you ask what? Questions. And why questions? Why are we doing this? What is it about? Why? This is most important. Why am I going to make money out of this? What and why are the most important thing which you need to do? How will come later on. How is, when you are in the implementation stage, then the how comes. But this is what's going to change how you do stuff. Okay? That means when we are trying to build the solution for the sentiment analysis, we want to make sure that we are able to build this perspective. So we build the customer journey. Based on the customer journey, we found out the number of pages they are doing. Based on this, we have an engagement score for them. Based on this engagement score, now we are able to sell them more products, or we can engage them faster and create segmentation. So you can have different ways to segment the data. So what are their values? What are my customers' values? What are the customers' interests? If my customer interest is shoes or soccer, who's their influencer? Ronaldo. Yes? So you're going to match them and start showing ads for that. How many here? Okay. Do you know who's the biggest customer for Facebook? Who's the biggest customer for Facebook? Anyone? Hmm? End users are not. Sorry. Huh? Walmart. Sentiment analysis. All the B2B they're paying money, millions of dollars to the Facebook, because you start liking this, you're getting ads. That's their revenue model. And once we know how that is done, then we are able to segment the data and then be able to use it. Okay. So these are the session replays. So another thing which you can do is session replays. So whenever some problem takes place, what can you do? You can replay that session. Okay. What does that mean, replay that session? That means you can do heat map. So what is heat map? Anyone? This is the interesting thing. My customers spend most of the time on this side. See this here? My customer is spending most of the time here. Now, why I'm talking about this is going to change, the AI is going to change how the heat maps are created nowadays. So that's the beauty about this, where they are spending most amount of time. First name, last name, address. Some fields are there. Some fields they are not even filling. Maybe we don't even need that field there, So that's something also you can add on top of it. Okay. At the end, the thunder is coming. So you have to stay for next 15 minutes to make billions of dollars for your company. I promised you, yes? So stay intact, because this is the most important thing we'll be discussing now. Agents are coming in. Agent is not one agent, but there are multiple agents are there. For example, you have a sales agent is there. You have a service agent is there. You have a healthcare agent is there. What are they doing? What are these guys doing? They're automatically finding the leads. And they're creating, for example, I take a look at one of them. You engage with the prospects. How much time people spend, a salesperson spend in emailing a prospect, calling them again. They did not respond. How much time do they spend? A lot of time. 70% of the time is in that. Now you automate calling, emails, qualifying the lead, nudging the email. That means they did not respond. Nudge them. Hey, send them again the email. And then get them, handle the questions. This is where you're getting the generated value coming from the knowledge base. They're a simple question, they're able to solve it using this. Now, why I'm talking about this is because this exercise is going to now save me billions of dollars right there. Now I'll be more productive. I'll be able to reach out to more people, get more qualification for myself with less amount of money. Wow, that's what's happening here. So what does that mean? Behind the scene, what's happening is, let me show you. Okay, let's click a button here.
Every company has the jobs to agent.
So now what we are trying to do is we are trying to see this. This is one of the sites where I'm going in as a virtual assistant. So when I go to that site for a virtual assistant, I want to be able to book a ticket. So I'm trying to book the ticket for myself. It's going to go in, get what dates it's available for me to use, and then schedule that appointment for myself. All those things are possible. Same thing is true with the leads. I can actually get the leads generated,
Questions.
schedule those leads without any problem.
Change.
Not only that, there is an avatar working with me. In this case, this is a sales coach, by the way. Avatar is working with me, Joyce is working with me, so that I am prepared to talk to my customer. So this is a role play. I'm role playing. Is questions. This is a fake customer, by the way. And then they are asking the question to Joyce. Joyce is a sales rep, and this is the other one. So that's changing the way we do things.
That a Tim's calls.
So that's what's happening in this case. Negotiation calls are being done, and then they are improving on top of it.
It's stand.
Now, why that is important is, whatever I talked about, why this is important is, what is changing in the world is this, exactly this one. So what happens is we need to do jobs to be done. When we do these jobs to be done, what we are asking questions. Let me tell you how this is working. What's happening is that, let's say you want to do a salesperson. What do you do when you need to do a sales call? You're going to go to a salesperson and say, what all things do you do? But you're not going to go to someone. You're going to go to your best salesperson, yes? Or best service person and find out from them, what things do you do from morning till night? And write down all these jobs here. And say that, can I add these jobs, an automated job for myself? And those jobs are now automated as part of actions I'm trying to perform. So what happens is you can have multiple actions. Can a person do multiple actions? Yes. Can a person do multiple actions? Same thing is true here. I can have multiple actions done by the person here. Once I know that, hey, I want to book a ticket, I can have an action for booking a ticket. Oh, I want to be able to resolve customer issues. You can also do that. By the way, this is changing the way we do the coding, by the way. So nobody is writing Java code anymore. Okay, what are you going to write from now onwards? Instructions. So that is completely changing the way we are doing this. So let me show you what I'm talking here. So it'll get you an understanding. See this? So these are all the topics: account management, case management. For this case management, when I'm doing the case management, you are able to get the case ID, create the case ID for myself. That means you're not writing an API to create a case. You're just writing a text, and it is automatically interpreting it correctly for yourself. Now, there are few things you need to do. You need to say that these are the safeguards you need to do when you are trying to create these values. Okay? So that's what happens in this case. Okay. At the end, we have critical enablers are there. Now, this one is hyperscale edge computing. When I say edge computing, that means that when you want to compute on the edge, so AWS provides it. That means AWS can have robotics, IoTs, they are all running on the edge. That means AWS green grass. Green grass is you are running on the edge. Now you can provide AI on top of it to find out where the problems are. Now, are you connected to internet? Maybe, maybe not. You still need to function, yes? If you're in a remote location, like in fields, you're not connected to internet. So you should be able to process the records without any problem. So that's what's coming in. The edge computing is a big thing which is coming in for us when we are working on this. Next is the knowledge graphs. So when we say knowledge graphs, now what's happening is that we are able to create a graph like this. The graph which I'm showing here, it can be structured graph or unstructured graph. For example, you have a YouTube video, you can bring in that YouTube video, social analysis there. You find out the relationship between them. This becomes structured relationship. Yeah. You can either do structured relationship or you can do unstructured relationship, which is done using YouTube video and other videos. What that means, that each and every field is connected to each other. That means you create a graph based on the text. Once you create a graph based on the text, can you now ask for questions on top of it? Is it possible to ask questions on top of it? Yeah. Now, what does that mean when you ask questions on top of this? That means knowledge graphs can be used to help create indexing. Now, anybody here do the RAG, retrieval augmented generation? You can use knowledge graphs also along with that to solve your perspective on this. Okay. So that said, of course, vector databases, there are multiple types of vector databases that you can use to really solve the puzzle for yourself. Now, that's good. Like we are able to create that vector database. You can also create a crew AI. So crew AI has come up, which has to do with like not only one person. If something fails somewhere, there is a crew which comes and fix that. Electricity, yes? Electricity fails, there is a 5-6 person come and they're fixing that issue. Crew is exactly similar to that. Now, what does that mean? You can have multiple agents coming in, working together to fix a problem. So that's what is coming in the crew AI space. There are real-time use cases you can use. I think Meta has come up with software industry, multi-agents. That means you will have a product manager, you will have a software architect, you will have an agent who's a developer, and they will talk to each other and create products. Probably we might not be there fully ready for that, but if that is ready, that means agents are creating software for us. We are not even creating any software, but that's their thought process behind it. Salesforce does the similar thing, like use the customer 360. So why customer 360 and other things here is because data is golden. Data is the most important thing which is there, which you have to keep in mind. And of course, these are 10 emerging technology stacks are there. Artificial intelligence, multiverse, we talked about it, flexible batteries. Now this is something for you to explore on your own. You can go into artificial intelligence and then find out in the artificial intelligence, for example, if I need to look at it, medical outreach or AI in the medical space, I can go to any one of them and then look into more details. sustainability goals and things like that. So that's for your kind of reference for yourself. So how do you predict this future? You predict these futures with something called a double diamond. Okay, double diamond means that this exercise, if you just do this exercise, that will really help you improve that. IDEO does that, by the way. IDEO is a company which build multiple products based on this model, where you're looking at feasibility, desirability, and viability, and creating a particular product. That means you're starting with generating an idea. Okay, car. Anybody, give me another version of thing related to car. Car, anyone? Bike, what else? Now, someone has to give reference to the bike and the car. Yeah. Anyone? Petrol, yeah. Okay. What else? Engines, what else? Huh? Wait. Wheels, yeah. What else? License, yeah. Gearbox. So what we are trying to do, we are generating multiple ideas. I'm not stopping anyone to do that. That's what's happening in the divergent ideas. After that, what I'm going to do is I want to converge whether it really makes sense or not. Once you do that, this is exactly followed by Procter & Gamble to generate trillion-dollar products. Billion-dollar products are actually coming out of this. This we are doing the divergent and convergent thinking you're trying to do here. And once you do that, you're going to get a better answer for yourself. Okay? That means there's always a hope cycle which is going on when you're creating this. Let's take a look at this one, because this is important to understand how this company built that. Now, what happened? This is something called a pill pack, okay, which came up.
Pill packs are a kind of pharmacy. We put your medication and deliver it directly.
Now, this is the pill pack which came.
So tear and take your next dose.
Now, earlier, how do we do that? We go to the pharmacy and we get some small dose and then we put it in a box. My mother does that. Like, it's very painful, you know. What did they do? They are able to get all the things when you're going to get what you're going to get in a box.
You can send those too. We work directly with your doctors and insurance to resolve any issues. We'll adjust your medication if your prescriptions change, and we'll automatically...
Now, why I'm talking about this in an AI talk? Because this is what you need to do next. This is your next billion-dollar product. Whatever we discussed today, we discussed 4 different areas today. Smart and AI perspective, we discussed behavioral analysis, we discussed, yeah. So look into those things and see where is your company changing. There is an AI for that. Go and look into what people are doing and then create this $1 billion. By the way, this was sold $1.5 billion. This company was sold to who? Amazon. They bought it. So that's what is the beauty about building a product set like this. Okay. Now, so what does that mean? You can build for schizophrenia, so they are able to engage this audience. Now, how do you build these products? Substitute, combine, adapt, magnify, put to other use, eliminate, and rearrange. This is called a scrambler pattern. Okay. If you scramper this pattern, substitute, can you use it for another part? Combine, can you combine 2 ideas and create another idea out of it? Adapt to newer way of thinking. Magnify some small things. Put to other use. Target market. Eliminate, not use some of those things and rearrange. Now, Ray Kroc did that. Why? McDonald's. What did they do? Pay me the money, then only you can eat. There's no people who are serving you. That's what they did. So when you ask these questions, you are now creating $1 billion products. I want to leave you here. This was a journey. We did it for 3 to 5 years. I spent a lot of time, and actually one of my friend, he's a security lead in Amazon. He said that technology is changing so fast. 6 months it's changing. So whatever I'm saying here, it may change, but this is going to give you an idea. 2 years from now, what we all will be doing. We will not be writing code, by the way. Code is written by somebody else. What we will be doing is we will be writing instructions and building the AI models in 15 days in production. So that is the newer model which is coming up. So I hope you enjoy this session and apply this for yourself. Thanks all for joining in. and enjoy the journey today.